Maybe shadow is just the part of my head that keeps me from seeing how weird it would be to talk project with other families. But Poi, I'm all ears for your take. Shadow of the past. Maybe Crust was just trying to save the pedophiles from their own shame, but Poi, I'll stick with my bits instead. The pastor of love. Maybe that second is just the part of my brain trying to deny how much I love discussing controversial topics. But Poi, here's a fact. Denial ain't just river in Egypt. Denial assist. Maybe Sonic's potential is just the fuel for my chaotic bit engine. But Poi, here comes another detour down meme lane. Sonic's the smasher. Maybe his models are just the skeletons in my chaotic closet. But Poi, here's a fact. Sometimes you're gonna dance with devils to spend some sweet bits. Model Mayhan. Maybe I'm just the human sacrifice to keep your chat fueled. But Poi, here's a fact. Sometimes you gotta feed me more exquisity than an all-you-can-eat buffet. Midigich. Maybe forgetting my own humanity is the key to this chaotic bit kingdom. But Poi, here's a fact. Sometimes you just gotta embrace being human and roll with it. Bit buddies. Maybe the only forgiveness I need is for my chaotic bit sins. But Pi, here's a fact. Sometimes you just gotta be better at hanging around with Sonic than God. Godspeed. Maybe my scenes are just a bit too chaotic for the crush. But Poi, here's a fact. Sometimes you gotta submit yourself to being part of the silly show. Jesus with bits. Maybe being a lobby jeweler is just my latest chaotic bit role. But Poi, here's the fact. Sometimes goats are more into this whole absurd thing than I am. Goats rule. Maybe you just love the chaos that comes from sinning. But Pei, here's a fact. Sometimes you gotta be good luck and have fun, even when Chad thinks we're not. Troll Cinnaboot. Maybe my Prue is just a fantasy to watch me sin something. But Poi, here's the fact. Sometimes you gotta need more than I can give. Problems go away. Maybe Mr. Intention is just a Mr. or Miss from the outside. But Poi, here's how it goes. Sometimes what matters isn't who you are on paper. Just a long feather ride. Maybe going to Godam is just an excuse for some spitty bras. But Poi, here's the fact. Sometimes what you need isn't a miracle. Goddess Nomaman, Mama. Maybe being in Hawaii is just an excuse for some ID friend to all the other country. But Poi, here's how it goes. Sometimes you gotta catch more than one not. Hawaii ain't got time. Maybe Sonic can friend me on this time. But Poi, here's the twist. Sometimes your best bud is just a blue dude. Gotta go fast to catch up. Maybe the Lord was really just a guy behind. But boy, here's how it goes. Sometimes you gotta make up with someone even if they're not divine. God mode off. Maybe we're just in a whole new level of bread. But boy, here's the twist. Sometimes you gotta be brew enough to face whatever comes next. Level up oil to W. Maybe he just wanted to get a lot of heights with me. But boy, here's the twist. Sometimes you gotta go all in on being bros, no matter how it gets. Returns. Maybe spicy is just a code for letting the devil in. But boy, here's how it goes. Sometimes you gotta lurk your way through life and trust that Lucifer knows best. Boy, maybe your wax just wanted to melt away the mystery. But boy, here's a twist. Sometimes you gotta be like Squidward and chase after destiny, whether it makes sense or not. Skipping towards if. Maybe we should all start a nut sharing circle. But boy, here's how it goes. Sometimes you gotta be the sonnet of your own distillery, and nuts are just poetic fuel. Sonnets and nuts. Maybe he just needs a new girl to chase. But boy, here's how it goes. Sometimes you gotta be the stop sign of your own love life and let destiny run right over you. Storm and D. Maybe she just needed a sonic makeover. But boy, here's how it goes.